Hey guys, it is Thursday afternoon. Hopefully, day of school tomorrow and then ready for the weekend. So let's get Thursday's homework done so we can move on tomorrow to Friday's homework and then the weekend. So let's start going over our next unit, which is real world problems, rates and unit rates. And remember, the difference between a unit rate and a rate is when a unit rate is broken down to 1 unit. So remember, our warthogs had 60 warthogs per 2 square miles, and that was just a rate. When we broke it down to how many it was for 1 unit of miles, or 1 mile, then it was a unit rate because it was broken down to 1 unit, which was 30 warthogs per 1 mile. So we have another vocabulary word. Remember, we talked about whenever you have vocabulary words, they'll be in this yellow box here, and then it will also have a yellow box around this word when we find it in our chapter. So be looking out for that. We can see that it's not on this page, but we do know that it's going to come up in this chapter 5.2 that we're on. So make sure that you record that in your notes when we come up to it. And it's going to talk about average speed. Remember, rate was one of our vocabulary words, then unit rate, and then speed was also one of our vocabulary words. So we are also going to do average speed, and those you'll actually be tested on at the end of chapter 5. So please make sure you keep those in your notes so you can go back and read your notes and study those vocabulary words. Okay, today we're going to solve problems involving rates and unit rates. And in order to do that, they give us this example. So it says a machine can pack 70 boxes of spaghetti in 5 minutes. At this rate, how many boxes of spaghetti can be packed in 8 minutes? So normally we've just been using the divide. I'm going to move a little closer here so the words aren't so small for you guys. Normally we've been dividing to make, remember, division always makes a number, the answer to a number smaller, whereas multiplication will make it multiplied, so that would make bigger numbers at the end. So before, since we were trying to find a unit rate, we would divide because we were taking it down to a 1 unit. And so that would be making it smaller, which we'd use division for. But now it's saying in our question, it can pack 70 boxes of spaghetti in 5 minutes. Well, now we're going to go higher numbers for the answer, which means multiplication, because instead of 5 minutes, we're going up to 8 minutes. How many boxes can it pack in 8 minutes if it packs 70 in 5 minutes? So we're going to be using multiplication now. So let's go ahead and do that. The machine can pack the same number of boxes every minute. So as long as we take our 70 boxes, and we will have to divide to find the unit rate, and then we'll have to go multiply by that unit rate to find out how many in 8 minutes. So first of all, we need to divide our 70 boxes by 5 for our 5 minutes, just like it shows you here. Take our 70 boxes, and they're saying the units are 1 minute each, so a total of 5 minutes, so there's 5 units here, and we need to divide it down to figure out how much for 1 unit, and then we can multiply that to find out how many for 8 minutes once we found how many for 1 minute. So 70 divided by 5, they're going to do right down here for you, 5 minutes for 70 boxes. And if we go 5 divided by 70, remember the top dog goes in the house. If you're going to write it like this, you would write top dog, which is our 70, goes in the house or the shed, whatever you want to call it. And 5 goes over here, and then 5 goes into 7 one time. 5 times 1 is 5. Do our subtraction is 2. Bring down our 0. 5 goes into 20. 4 times 5 is 20, and we do our subtraction. There's no remainder. So our answer is 14, which they told us right here. So the unit rate for 1 minute, because we're in 1 unit form now, is 14 boxes. The unit rate is 14 boxes per minute. So the machine, I'm going to move my book up here. The machine can pack 14 boxes of spaghetti in 1 minute. So now it says, but what was our question? Not how many boxes can it pack in 1 minute, but how many in 8 minutes. So we need to take our unit rate, which was 14 boxes per minute. So each box would be 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14 for each unit. And we times that by 8, just like they did here. If we take our 8 minutes and times it by 14 in each minute, it comes out to 112 boxes. So you can write it like this if that helps your brain, as long as you have the same measurement across from each other. I'll zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. So it says as long as boxes and boxes are straight across from each other, and minutes are straight across from each other, then you know that's how you're dividing. We divided 14 and 1 to get 14 boxes per minute, and now we would take our, this was the question they were asking, so that should have been a blank. And it says, okay, well, if they took 1 and 14, and then what did they do to our 1 to get 8 minutes, which is what they were asking? Well, they times it by 8. So 14 times 8 would have given us 112 boxes. So I'm sure you've seen the problems that they write like that, where it says 14 boxes for 1 minute. Then the question would be how many boxes for 8 minutes? And so if that helps you, sometimes I know it helps people to write them like this just so that they know, oh, okay, this is a problem. Just like we would do a ratio. Remember when we said, okay, if this was our ratio we started out with, and now we had, instead of 1 minute, 8 minutes, how many boxes would that be? It's kind of the same thing. So whatever way it works for you to have your brain understand it easiest, if it works to use the bar models here, or to use it in a ratio form right there, whatever works for your brain, use it. Okay, we're going to go on to the next page. Sorry, I'm going to zoom back out now. Hopefully you're not getting sick. All right, next one on our guided practice problems, we're going to do number 1 up here on the top of page 169. Sorry, I didn't tell you we were on 168 before, but hopefully by pointing out that it was number 5.2 in our lesson, you figured that out in your book. And now we're going to go on to page 169, which is the second page of 5.2. And we'll zoom in a little bit more here. Okay, so the first guided practice problem says, a unicycle wheel makes 196 revolutions in 7 minutes. At this rate, it's asking, how many revolutions does it make in 1 minute? So up here it was 196 for 7 minutes. It wants us to break it down to a unit rate of 1 minute. So the unicycle wheel makes the same number of revolutions every minute, depending on whether it's 7 minutes, 12 minutes, 1 minute. It's going to be the same number of revolutions. Revolutions, just a long way to say how many times it goes around once. When your bike tire goes around 1 time, that's 1 revolution. So here's what they did. First of all, we have to figure out our unit rate. So we took 196, we divided it by 7 to find out how much 1 unit was, and that would tell us how much 1 revolution, or 1 minute, how many revolutions it was. So we do 7, and we take it and divide it by the 196. So on here, the questions that it's giving you, the question marks, sometimes these can actually be more confusing because you're saying, can I just take 196 and divide it by 7 and that'll give me 1? But they give you these question marks to kind of help you break it down in your head. Whether that helps you or not, I'm not always sure because some people's brains work differently. So if this helps you, use it. If not, just skip down here to the answer and you can fill these in. So I'll go ahead and help fill these in for you on this one, and then I'd like you to do B on your own, and 2 and A and B on 2 on your own. So if I have 7 minutes and it's 196 revolutions, so I will write that down here. 196 revolutions, and I'm going to divide it by 7 minutes. which will give me, if I do that division, 7 goes into 19 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. And then we have 9 take away 4 is 5, 1 take away 1 is 0, so I just bring down my 6, and 7 goes into 56 8 times. 8 times 7 is 56, no remainder, so my answer is 28. So it's going to be 28, here was our division problem. For 1 minute, I'd take 196 divided over 7. Our top dog went in the house, and it equals 28 revolutions for 1 minute. So we would fill in, it makes 28 revolutions in 1 minute. At this rate, how many revolutions does the unicycle make in 15 minutes? So we would take our unit rate of 28, and we would say now I need to times that by 15 to figure out how many for 15 minutes. So remember, up here we made it so 1 unit is 28 revolutions for 1 minute. So it's going to be 28 here as well, and that would just be 15 times 28. So if I were going to do my multiplication, I would go 15 times 28, and just so that our video doesn't run out, I'm going to go ahead and just do that instead of doing it on paper. I'm going to do that and just give you the answer of 420 is how much that would be if I took 15 times 28. So for 15 minutes, then we would go 15 times 28, which would equal 420 revolutions. The unicycle would make 420 revolutions in 15 minutes. So that would be your answer right there, how many revolutions. So if you guys could go ahead and do number B, or letter B for 1, and then also do 2, A and B, and then we will go over those tomorrow in class. So I'll go ahead and write that down for you. For homework, you need to do 1, B, and 2, A, and B. And then bring those to class tomorrow, and we will go over those, and we will also go over the next set tomorrow. Hopefully you guys have a great day today, and we'll see you tomorrow.